What's up, everyone? I am TokuTylor, and today we will be talking episode 16 of Lupinranger vs. Patoranger. This episode was pretty fun. We had our moments, the last couple of weeks with the Patorangers, but now we are back to the Lupinrangers this week. It's so good to have them back. So really fun episode, like I said. So let's get started. We open up with the Patorangers observing a gangler safe. Apparently, it belonged to the other sheep gangler who possessed the crane vehicle. The two, I want to call them Smash Brothers, but no, Smash Brothers is a game. Anyway, the two sheep ganglers, the black sheep one, got crushed, and he was holding the crane vehicle. So the safe was inside the vehicle when he got crushed to death. So they went inside and grabbed the safe and analyzed it and everything. They put it through forensic tests and have determined it's made of unknown materials. Obviously, because they're, from a different dimension, the ganglers, and that it is more vulnerable on the inside than the exterior. So the interior of the safe is a bit more vulnerable. The exterior is meant to be, hard to get through. So that's why they look like they explode outwards, because when the gangler's destroyed, the blast goes into the safe and then explodes outwards because of it being vulnerable from the inside. So, also that the safes might be the gangler's true bodies, seeing as their regeneration starts with the safe first. The safe is the thing that's left after they're destroyed. Not body parts, not anything else. It's the safe. So it's a really interesting idea, is that these are their true bodies. These are their cores. So it's something we found out about the ganglers, or we think about the ganglers. So it's good. We then go to the Lupinrangers walking to Gérard with groceries. They went shopping with Touma, and they're carrying the grocery bags with him. But then a gangler attacks a wedding party nearby, and the Lupinrangers run right in to stop the gangler and everything. But as they are about to fight, the gangler shows us he can swap people's bodies, or hit their minds at least. But I'm going to say bodies for this video. But he swaps Umika with a dove, and it's kind of a fun moment there. And Touma says he doesn't believe it, and he tricks the gangler into turning Umika back, and he's like, "Oh, darn it, you tricked me." So that was funny. I love it when Touma messes with people. It's just really fun. But when Touma is the next target, the swapping beam also hits the gangler. It hits one of these like lighting umbrella things and bounces back at him instead of the dove. And so the beam hits the gangler, thus swapping Touma and the gangler at the last second. And so now Touma is in a gangler body, and the gangler is in Touma's body. So I'm going to refer to Touma as Touma in the gangler's body, and the gangler in Touma's body as the gangler. But after the Patorangers join the fight, the gangler runs away as Touma because he sees that they're beating up his body, and he doesn't really want to return to it to be destroyed, so he runs away. And the Lupinrangers protect Touma in his gangler body and escape with him, and the Patorangers think the Lupinrangers are working with the ganglers, which is definitely not the truth. They say it's complicated, so it's a little situation there. As it turns out, the gangler running around as Touma, as it turns out, the ladies love Touma, or at least the gangler acting as Touma, because he runs into this girl and he catches her, and then all her friends want to take pictures with him, so he's like really popular now. So the gangler decides to be popular instead of swapping back. And back at the bistro, Kairi and Umika have a real fun time stuffing Touma through the front door. They're like, "Turn him sideways," and then they just say 3, 2, 1, and they just run at him and just knock him in through the door. I just love those little fun moments. They do a countdown and then they run right at him and just push him in. That was fun. But they think they're okay for now that they're in the bistro. But the Patorangers show up, worried about Touma getting attacked, because during the fight, after they switched and everything, the gangler in Toma's body got pushed back and out of his transformation. And so when the Patarangers arrived, they saw Touma on the ground being attacked by a gangler. So then he ran away, obviously. But they hide Touma under a tarp, and they say he's upstairs, sick, sleeping. And the Patarangers are like, but we just saw him. It's anyway. But Tsukasa then scares me because she looks right at the thing under the tarp and she approaches it, but as it turns out, she thought there was a mosquito there, which turned out to be a speck of dust. So that was a weird moment. I thought she had figured it out or something, but they went with the comedy way, I guess. But long story short, Kairi and Umika, they get Tsukasa away from Touma under the tarp and then get them to leave, and then Touma tries to switch back, but he can't, so they figure the gangler's the one who can actually switch them back, so they need to get him to do it. So to find him, Kairi goes off to find the gangler, and we see the Patarangers walking on the side of the street, and they witness the new Touma, the gangler, hanging out with a group of girls, even though they think he took a sick day, and he's supposed to be at Jurere, apparently. But then Kairi gets him alone and tries to fight him, but, and I saw this coming, he can't bring himself to harm Toma's body. The gangler is egging him on, but he can't bring himself to actually punch Touma, because that's Toma's body, even though if it's not exactly him. So the gangler pushes Kairi away and then uses the VS changer to escape, and Kairi is furious. So we see that the gangler can actually transform, which I assume anyone can if they have the changer and his vehicle, but it's fun to see a different version of Lupin Blue, but it's still the same suit, just a different character inside it. So back at the bistro, while they have this rare opportunity, Umika opens the gangler body safe to get the collection piece, which is it's this weird kind of like green sphere with like black and red decals on it. It's some sort of sphere. So it's an interesting item, but at least that's the easiest collection piece they've gotten so far. So that was good. Kairi returns to the bistro and wants to talk to Touma about what he has to do in order to beat the gangler. Touma agrees that if beating the gangler means destroying his body or having him be destroyed, he understands. They made a promise together when they became thieves, all three of them, that day when Kogure chose them, and they're going to keep their promise. Whoever's left standing needs to fulfill the wishes of everyone. Whoever's still around has to make their wishes come true, basically. So it's still that original promise, and they intend to keep it. The three of them then track down the gangler, and they make a deal. Kairi will fight him, and if he wins, he can have the collection piece and the body, I think. They only talk about the collection piece, but I'm pretty sure it's implied that he gets to keep Toma's body. But if Kairi wins the fight, he has to swap back. So they both transform, and they fight, and I have to say, this fight is really, really cool. But we get to, okay, Kairi has a shot. Sorry, I'm like, it's right in front of me right now. But Kairi gets to the point where he has a shot. He can take a shot on the bad Touma, but he can't shoot. He doesn't want to harm his friend. So Kairi is then shot into a corner, basically, and he's trying to figure out what to do. But Kairi gets up after Touma reminds him of their promise. And by the way, again, this fight scene between the two of them is probably one of the best ones, in my opinion, at least. It's just really cool fight choreography. Really, really cool. Anyway, enough geeking out about the fights again. Anyway, Kairi doesn't hold back this time. He gets right in it, starts fighting back, and he has Toma's body at gunpoint. He aims his changer right at Toma's heart, and the gangler thinks he's bluffing, but right when he pulls the trigger, the gangler swaps back immediately. So he did fire his blaster. So it looks like Touma was shot, but it is revealed that right when Kairi was going to shoot, he placed his own hand in front of the gun to defend Touma's body from the shot. So he shot his own hand, making it look like he shot his friend, and there was a bit of an impact on Touma's shirt, but the shot went right into Kairi's hand, and we even see a hole in the glove. That's such a like badass moment. Excuse my language, but yeah, he shot his own hand. That was so crazy. And he even says, "What if the gangler didn't fall for it?" And then Kairi says, "I would have made the next shot count." And I love the Lupinrangers so much. They're so cool. After the explanation of all that, Touma gets up and the Lupinrangers transform to fight. And because we had Patoranger Yugo in the last episode, Lupin Red uses Good Striker to duplicate himself. And this is where we get my favorite part of the episode. Touma is handed the Scissors Dial Fighter, or Scissors and Blade, and Umika gets the Cyclone Vehicle, and with all their attacks combined, they make the coolest finisher ever. So it's the three Lupin Reds with Touma and the Boomerang Weapon, and Umika with the Cyclone Blast. It's so cool. And with that gigantic blast, they destroy the Gangler. And as usual, Goshu arrives to revive the Gangler, and I just realized I don't think they gave the Gangler a name in this episode. I'm trying to think. I don't think they gave him a name. That's sad. But anyway, the Lupinrangers launch their vehicles, and we get to see a combination that I didn't think we'd get to see in the show. It is Lupin Kaiser, and then they launch both the Cyclone Vehicle and the Scissors and Blade. So we get Lupin Kaiser Cyclone Knight. It's so cool. They actually swapped both arms for this, so it's really, really cool. The fight is pretty good, and then for the final attack, they use the Cyclone like a bow, and then the Blade Vehicle like an arrow, just launching it in a spiral shot, which was just so cool to see. And just, I love the ingenuity of that. That's so awesome. Anyway, after the fight, the Patarangers are at the bistro confronting Touma on lying about being sick to hang out with a bunch of girls. And he doesn't he doesn't know what happened when the gangler was in his body. So he's like, it wasn't me, but it was me. And he looks to Kairi and Umika, but they don't help him at all. So it's really funny. Really funny. Poor Touma. I mean, it's just a really funny moment, and Toma's my favorite, so it's really funny to see him in this situation. But anyway, final thoughts. Good to have the Lupin Rangers back, and I understand that the Pata Rangers are in the next one, but I love the Lupin Rangers so much that it's really good to have them back after that good Pata Ranger two-parter, I guess we could call it. But and also, that fight between Kairi and the Gangler was great to watch. It really was. I know I keep talking about how the fight scenes are, but they're really well done, and it's really cool to see Ranger versus Ranger, and the mecha combination was awesome to see because I didn't think they would actually do it. So altogether, this episode is a great example of how the series is going so far. Great writing, fun characters, and having callbacks to items like the Cyclone. They're not just toys to sell and then forget about them. They actually brought back, Biker and Good Striker, combining the Pata Rangers to make Pata and Yugo. It's not just, here's the Cyclone Dial Fighter, go buy it in the stores, and then forget about it in the show. They actually use these time and time again, which is very nice to see. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that bell to be notified of future videos, and I will see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.